Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our
Ciao guys.
podcast. This is the last week of the winter transfer window, so we have many things to talk about, and we start with Barcelona and new signings that are about to arrive at the club.
I think it's a great moment for Barcelona, not just on the pitch in terms of obviously the recent results under Hansi Flick, but also in terms of planning for the future, building for the future. Obviously, they have La Masia, their own talents, but part of the project with Deco and with their new head of scouting, Joao Amaral, arrived a few months ago, is also to bring in players for Barça B team, invest on them and develop them. And so Barcelona are about to close 5 deals for young talents after some movement already happened in the recent weeks. I can guarantee to you that this week, probably already, Barcelona will close 4 of these 5 deals. And I can mention these names. Ayay Tavares is a winger from Norwich, 16 years old, English player. Hamza Abdelkarim, striker from Al Ahly, very talented, on loan with an option to buy. And then Onstein, a defender from Genk, 18 years old. And Patricio Pacifico, the deal for Patricio Pacifico is done with Defensor Sporting, a 19-year-old defender. So Barcelona are building on young talents, are working a lot on young talents, believe that investing on this sort of players can be really important on the technical point of view and also on the financial point of view to create value around the B squad. And so this is part of the Deco strategy. Barcelona will keep doing this. Also in the next months, these 4 signings will be completed very soon.
But also building around Fermín López, probably one of the best players so far this season, and there is also contract talks about a potential new deal for him.
Yes, there are negotiations ongoing between Fermín López and Barcelona. His contract is already very long, so it's not a urgent situation. But what happened? Last summer, at the final days of the summer transfer window, ahead of deadline day, Chelsea tried to sign Fermín López. Then the player decided to stay at Barcelona, and also Barca didn't want Fermín López to leave. But usually in football, when there is important clubs and an important player involved, when the bid is being rejected, it means probably that a new contract is in the air, also because it's part of what you own to the player in terms of recognizing the opportunity he had and now the chance he decided to take by staying at the club. And so Barcelona are prepared to give Fermín López a new contract, not just because of what happened with Chelsea, but also because of what happened and especially because of what happened on the pitch. Fermín López is doing fantastic, 20 goal contributions this season, one of the best players of Barcelona so far under Hansi Flick. And so they are very happy, not just with the performances, but also with the attitude of Fermín López, showing love for the club. When Hansi Flick goes on press conference and says about Draw joining Paris Saint-Germain, the deal is being signed today, and says, I want to see players who want to play for Barcelona, who want to be 100% focused on Barcelona. Well, Fermín López is showing that this is the case for him. So the new contract is well underway. Barcelona will give him a better salary, and he's going to be one of the crucial players for the future project. So I think it's going to be a matter of some days, weeks to keep negotiating some details, and then Fermín can put pen to paper.
You mentioned about Chelsea and Fermín López, but also Chelsea talking about now and the winter transfer window. There is a new signing for the Blues.
Yes, and get ready for Chelsea. I want to say this on our podcast today here on Many Blazers because I think in the next days it's going to be busy for Chelsea. So one signing is already coming, is a return because Chelsea activated the recall clause for Anselmino, the Argentinian defender who was at Borussia Dortmund, doing very well there. Chelsea already at the beginning of December decided to stop some approaches from Borussia Dortmund to sign the player on a permanent transfer. Dortmund were very happy with Anselmino. They were prepared to pay important money to get him immediately on a permanent deal, but the answer from Chelsea was no, Anselmino is part of our long-term plans, and now they decide to recall the player, to have Anselmino immediately available at Cobham. So Anselmino is returning to Chelsea, but I'm told that it's not over. I'm told that there might be more movements for Chelsea, especially in midfield. Because Dario Esugo is injured, Romeo Lavia is still suffering from injuries, and so Chelsea could add one more player there. Douglas Luiz from Juventus, now on loan and Nottingham Forest, is an option. Not the only one, there are also other candidates in the short list. So Chelsea are exploring the midfielders market, and I think that position could be covered. There might be also some more movement, so I think it's going to be an interesting end of the market. Let's see what's going to be possible for Chelsea.
Meanwhile, there is an ongoing race battle for a new talent, and talking about Jeremy Jacquet. So what's the latest?
It's going to be a big battle for this boy because Jeremy Jacquet is one of the best talents in the world in his position as centre-back, 19 years old, doing fantastic at Rennes. Basically, what happened is that Chelsea 2 weeks ago tried to go all-in to sign Jeremy Jacquet, but Rennes decided not to sell the player in the January window. They could consider, from what I understand, to sell the player now, January or eventually February, even with the market closed, but for the summer. So a deal closed ahead of the summer transfer window, not for the January window. And they still want a record fee. They sold Jeremy Doku to Manchester City for 64 million euros. They want something up to 65, 70 million euros for Jeremy Jacquet. Now, Chelsea are in the race, already making important steps on player side, and let's see how the conversation will continue. And then there are also Liverpool and Bayern calling for Jeremy Jacquet, basically the clubs that wanted Mark Guehi, but then he went to Manchester City. So, big battle for this boy, Chelsea involved for sure, and I think it's going to be an interesting one.
Also, there is a new season, new life started for Kobbie Mainoo. Great start under Michael Carrick. Man United seems another club right now. So what has changed for his future as well? We knew about the interest of Napoli, for example.
Yeah, now is completely different world for Kobbie Mainoo. 0 starts under Ruben Amorim in Premier League this season, and now already 2 starts in 2 games under Michael Carrick, 2 wins for Man United. So the atmosphere is fantastic around Kobbie, and then to see Michael Carrick go in press conference and say young players like Kobbie must be the foundation of Manchester United project. Well, this is a very clear message coming from the Red Devils manager, and so now it's completely different. What I can add is that obviously Mainoo is not leaving in these final days of the window, despite having some interest. Napoli were pushing to get him on loan, but then the manager changed it and the story changed around Kobbie Mainoo. I can add that Manchester United now from the next weeks will restart conversations over a new contract for Kobbie with a better salary to make him feel as an important player on the pitch, but also in terms of contract status. And so the conversations will restart very soon, and this is going to be one of the key topics for Manchester United soon.
Another key topic for Manchester United will be the new manager in June. We know about rumors coming every day. We were expecting that. What about Michael Carrick? Considering his start, of course, there are already rumors about him potentially staying at Man United.
Yeah, I think the start has been fantastic. We have to say congratulations to Michael Carrick because he was really silent, not saying anything big in press conference, not creating any expectation, working hard, doing an incredible job on the tactical, technical, and also mental point of view with the players. Then getting 6 points against Manchester City and Arsenal is unbelievable. So fantastic job so far. It's still too early to say whether Carrick will have the opportunity to stay as a permanent manager or not at the end of the season, but for sure the start has been fantastic. So I think if he's going to continue like this, also in terms of creating a positive atmosphere in the dressing room, around the fans, everything looks different at Manchester United in the last 10 days, 15 days. So I'm sure he will have probably the chance to prove this. So Man United have no agreement with any other manager at this stage. I always said it's going to be a long process to decide who is going to be the Man United permanent manager in the summer. Obviously, if Carrick will continue like this, I think he has a chance for sure.
Talking about managers, there are already rumors about Xabi Alonso and potentially new clubs. There are a lot of rumors now coming from Spain about Liverpool also understanding what's going on at Liverpool this season. What do you think about it?
Many rumors, but on Xabi Alonso I maintain my position. I'm not surprised by the rumors because I keep saying since the day he got fired, they decided to part company, Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid. Since that day, I keep saying that Xabi Alonso will be back soon. And I keep repeating, even here on our podcast, that Xabi will be back soon. Xabi doesn't want to take long time off. Xabi is really ready for a new challenge. So I think if it's going to be probably this summer and eventually summer 27, I don't see Xabi staying at home for a long time. Also because in the industry, as I keep saying, he's really, really highly rated and appreciated. So on Liverpool, he was already on the shortlist at Liverpool before Arne Slot. So he's always been appreciated, obviously. He's a former Liverpool player, so the connection is still very good. But at this stage, I can guarantee there are no negotiations ongoing between Xabi Alonso, his agents, and Liverpool. Liverpool remain committed to the Arne Slot project as of today. Then, of course, from now to the end of the season, we have to see how Liverpool will continue this season. Obviously, it's not been a fantastic season so far for the Reds. So let's see how the rest of the season will be. Xabi Alonso, if they decide at some point to part ways with Arne Slot, for sure will be a candidate. Because, again, the connection is very good. But if you ask me today what's going on, no talks, no negotiations, no agreement, still now.
Last one for managers for today, and it's about Carlo Ancelotti. We know it's World Cup here for him in Brazil. Also, there were some rumors after his comeback in Madrid as a fan last week. But what do you think about the future of Ancelotti and Brazil?
There is a negotiation at advanced stages between Carlo Ancelotti and the Brazilian Federation to extend his contract even before the World Cup. And this is showing the excellent job done by Carlo Ancelotti with the Seleção, with Brazil, because from the Federation they offered him a new contract valid until July 2030, so to stay basically for 2 World Cups, this one incoming in a few months and then the next one. This is the desire from the Federation. They want to build with Carlo Ancelotti. They believe they have a generation of players like Hendrik, Estevão and all the others who can be the future of Brazil, and Carlo Ancelotti can be the perfect man to develop them. So they are insisting to make it happen with Carlo Ancelotti extending before the World Cup. The conversation is underway, it's going quite well, so I think there is a strong possibility to see Ancelotti signing a new deal with Brazil.
Last one for today. I know you wanted to conclude this episode with Kees Smit and his potential move in the next days.
Yeah, Kees Smit is going to make us speak a lot here on the podcast and on all the platforms in the next months, because this midfielder from AZ Alkmaar is a fantastic player. So to answer the question from our friends here on Men in Blazers, no, he's not leaving in January, but in the summer, I think there will be movement, definitely, because there are many top clubs from England and from Spain interested in this boy. It's already a big battle behind the scenes. I will be more precise about the clubs very soon. I will give you all the details, but for Kees Smit, it's going to be crazy. So January, no, even if some club tried. There are some clubs that tried to get the deal done now. AZ said no, they still hope to qualify for Champions League. It's not going to be easy, but they believe Kees Smit is untouchable in this window. In summer transfer window, get ready for a big race, a big battle.
Thank you for that. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Ciao.